welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Chelsea, and if you're not new, well, you haven't seen me in so long that I might as well just reintroduce myself as Chelsea to you anyway. So today's video, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be doing a thrift flip of a ribbon skirt. So what I have here is this shirt, and I want to turn this into a ribbon skirt for a child. Obviously this isn't gonna fit an adult, but this is I don't know, it's an idea that I've had for a while, is to go to the thrift store, pick out some items, and thrift flip them into some sort of indigenous garment, probably ribbon garments. And I'm finally gonna do that because when I was at the thrift store, I seen this shirt and I thought that it was a great introduction into such a project. So let's get into it. Here's a shirt, an adult size woman's shirt, and I'm turning this into a ribbon skirt for a child. It has this sheer overlay fabric here, and then beneath is a lining fabric. These are separate. They are joined towards the top. The top of the shirt actually remains sheer, and then you can tell where they join. I'm also interested to see just how fast I can do this. So without any more of an intro, let's just get into it. So the first thing that I want to do is just cut the very top of this off. And I want to cut that above this seam where the lining and the overlay fabric are held together. And that's just because I want these to stay together. I don't want to have to put them back together. The only thing is, while the front and the back both have this straight join, at the sleeve or the armhole, it does sort of dip down, but I'm hoping that, you know, I'm just going to cut to here. I'm hoping that this will just sort of straighten out as well, or maybe I can take it to the serger and take off this corner. I haven't figured that out yet, but yeah, I'm going to cut this off. Okay, and now I have this cut off, and it's only like a skirt basically, or a tube top. This top part, I'm just going to discard it. It's not really enough for me to do anything else with. Now, the skirt, although this is for a child, I think is long enough if it was as is. However, some of this needs to fold down in order to fit a elastic band inside of this, which on the child that this is intended for will make this skirt slightly too small. So I hate to use bought fabric for a top panel. I want to do something that's fully thrifted, but I didn't think of that when I bought this. But this is leftover fabric. I made a whole ribbon skirt out of this, and I think that it's gorgeous fabric. And instead of this sitting in my drawer with all of the other excess fabric that I have, I can use this right away to make some, like a top panel. And I think that these would pair well together. So I didn't quite measure out exactly how much their body needed at the top, but I think I want about 5 inches at the top of this. So I need an extra 1/2 inch on the bottom in order to join these together for seam allowance. And then I need an extra 2 inches at the top for the waistband. So that would be 7.5 inches. And then I will just cut it as wide as this is, but with an extra inch, again, for seam allowance. All right, now I have these two panels here. They are about an inch wider than this. Now I could have made these much wider and then gathered them before attaching. I think that that would look really nice, but I think I just prefer them to be about the same length as this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to join these two panels together at the side seams. All right, now the side seams are sewn. I think what I'm gonna do now is send these edges through the serger, both the top and the bottom here, and then I will also serge the side seams just to keep it from fraying and getting messy. And then I'm also going to serge off this corner here just so it's straight, you know, in that spot. So this bias tape here is just a little thick to put through my serger, but the two layers are still joined together right here, I think anyway, so I'm gonna seam rip this bias tape off. All right, so now I have this mostly straight. I'm actually going to take this and flip it inside out. And then with that panel that I made earlier, I'm going to attach this to this one. So this one will, let's see, this upper layer, I'm going to turn it right side out so that the right side of the fabric is facing outwards. Then what I want to do is find the side seams so that I can fold it in half to find that center point of the project, and then I'm going to mark that center point. I'm just going to do that with this pin. Next, I'm going to take this and put it in between the two layers of this shirt slash gonna be a skirt so that it's sandwiched in there. And you'll see why I found that center point, which is because I'm going to use this center point and the side seams just to make sure that some of the layers don't move one way more than the other, keeping everything nice and neat and lined up. So lining up the center seam of this with the center seam of the shirt, I will pin that. And then here I have a center seam already, which is helpful for lining up this center point that I found. If you are using this video for pointers and to do your own thrift flip, you might not have this center seam. In fact, I don't have it on this side either. So One thing you can do is just similarly to what I did with this pink fabric, you can just fold it in half, joining the side seams, and wherever the fold is, that is the center point, and you can mark it with a pin or chalk or whatever. So yeah, now that these are lined up, I'm going to do the same over here, line up the side seams and pin these layers together all the way around. All right, now these are pinned all the way around, and I'm going to take this to the machine and sew these layers together. All right, let's fold this right side out and see how it looks. All right, so here are the two pieces joined together. Let me see if I can zoom out this a little more. Yeah, very, very different panels. Now the joyful thing about this is I don't have to do a hem because the bottom of the shirt is already done. But I think before I move on and do ribbon, sorry, you can see, I wonder if it's been like that this whole time. Before I do the ribbon, I'm going to take care of the waistband. If you've been watching my videos for a while, especially the ribbon skirt ones, I'm going to assume you know how to do a waistband, so I'm not going to take time explaining it. I'm just going to do it. waistband is on and we are in the home stretch. So I grabbed a couple ribbons that I thought would go nice with this. I have 3 different colors, and this, I'm not sure if it translates on camera. It's a very light blush pink, and then we have this darker blush pink and like a maroon, cranberry, burgundy, however you want to think. And I chose lighter colors, well, first of all, pinkish colors to match the top piece of fabric that is pink, just to bring that color down this way, but also so that you can very nicely see the ribbons through this sheer layer. And I'm not sure if this red, how well it'll show, but I just thought that it would look really nice and complement the two. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it. Now there's a few different ways we can put these ribbons on, considering this is already got the side seams, so we can't really sew the ribbons into the side seams without having to undo and rip these, and I don't want to do that. So because this has an overlay, what I'm going to do is take the edge of the ribbon and line it up with the side seam, as you can see here, and then I'm going to do what I usually do when applying ribbon to a ribbon skirt. I tend to measure and sew as I go instead of gluing it down. But once I get to the other side seam, I'm not going to cut the ribbon and stop and then put on another one. I'm just going to keep sewing over this side seam until I get all the way around to the other side, back to this original side seam that I started at. I'm comfortable doing that with this project because it has an overlay, so you're not really gonna see anything. But if this didn't have an overlay and these ribbons were gonna be obviously seen, then I would actually stop at that other side seam and cut the ribbon, fray block it, and then start another one. And I would also, instead of just fray blocking the ends, because you'd be able to sort of see the burnt ends, I would probably give it a bit of a fold and stitch it down with the edge folded underneath so that it's not visible. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put these ribbons on and then show you the final product. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? It is so cute. Here it is. I love that I made a skirt small enough that I can fit it within frame. Yes, here is the skirt. Can lift up this panel here so you can see just the ribbon application. As I said, I started it at one seam. Where is it? There we go. From far away you can't really tell. Maybe up close you can see that's where the start is, and there's no other seam of the ribbon. You can see it nicely through the overlay, although maybe it's just this lighting. I am in my living room. There's like low yellow lighting in here. But in this lighting, you can't really tell the colors underneath very well, but maybe in brighter lighting, you'll be able to. This was really cute. This was really fun. It took me about an hour and a half, and that is with like stopping to film and talk. So I probably could have made this in like an hour. I think that the little girl this is intended for is gonna absolutely love this, and I want to do this again in the future, make some different things for, you know, adults as well. See what we can do. Thrift flips are so fun. I watch them a lot on like TikTok, and I thought that I would do what we do best on this channel, indigenize the trend. And it's really nice to be able to take something that, you know, is one person's trash and make it a treasure. So if you want to see more thrift flips, let me know. If you're not interested, you're like, shut up, Chelsea, and just teach me something else, I can do that too. But yeah, that'll be all from me today. I look forward to making another video in the future, and until next time, Mama Peak Wabman.